Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. This afternoon from Erie High School is a Tri-Valley League clash as the visiting Fort Morgan Mustangs take on the Erie Tigers. I'm John Beltran. This game, as we customarily do with a lot of these games, will start a little bit early. Let's get to the Mustang starting lineup. Batting first is center fielder J.P. Hamer. The pitcher, Jacob Ortega, hits second. Batting third, the second baseman, Isaac Linker. Alex Ortega, the right fielder, is the cleanup hitter. Austin Apple, the third baseman, hits fifth. Nick Norris at first, hits sixth. Javi Becerra. And check that, Linker's the shortstop, I should mention, not the second baseman. Becerra, the left fielder, hits seventh. Connor Fajardo, the catcher, hits eighth. And Nick Beltran, the second baseman, will be batting ninth. Yeah, this is a relatively new high school, but out here in the baseball field, the internet is a challenge. So hopefully we'll be giving you the best broadcast possible here signal-wise. Trey Rarick, the right-hander for this Erie team, 1-4 in league play, 4-7 overall. And the Mustangs, 2-3 in league play, 5-5 on the season. Pitch to Hamer. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. And we are underway here in Erie. And the offering, swinging a foul to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes. Opening pitch today brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips in Brush and Fort Morgan. No balls and 2 strikes to Hamer. The offering, swing and a miss. A very late swing. I think he was expecting a breaking ball. It was a fastball, and he took a half-hearted swing. And he had no chance there, and there's one down. He was guessing there. Here is Jacob Ortega hitting out of the 2-hole. Now we'll give you updates on batting averages whenever we've got the shot here. And the pitch is just off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. At first base is John Thorne. Nash Phillips at second. Brandon Huell is the third baseman. Trevor Ball at short. Here's the wind and the 1-0. Swung on, and that is lifted into the right center field gap. A long run, and that's going to take one big hop, another one, and near the bottom of the fence. Ortega's around second, headed for third. He's going to make it there with a late throw, and that ball sails past the third baseman, backed up by the pitcher, Rarick, and it's a 1-out triple for Jacob Ortega. And now the Mustangs are in business with Isaac Linker stepping in. Linker's had a nice year for Fort Morgan. Trying to drive in the game's first run here in the top of the first inning. We'll set up the outfield for Erie. Caleb Furman is in left. Isaac Kahn in center. Grayson Schenbeck is in right. And the fastball's a strike down the middle at the knees. Gavin Mendoza behind the plate, and no balls and 1 strike to Rarick. Or check that, from Rarick to Linker. Out of the stretch with a man at third and 1 down. Short lead for Ortega. Long pause and the pitch. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Second baseman to his right. Phillips has got it. Sidearms low to first, but it's dug out nicely. Thorne scores. And Ortega, with crossing home plate off the ground ball from Isaac Linker, has given the Mustangs a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning. That'll send up Alex Ortega. So that's all Isaac had to do, put it in play. And he did it successfully. And a pitch, and changeup is low. Coming up on 4 o'clock, this is Morgan County's B106, KPRB. Brush, Fort Morgan, John Beltran from Erie, 1-0 Mustangs. Here's the wind by the right-hander, the pitch. Swing and a miss with a fastball, letter high. And the count levels at 1-1. That first Mustang run of the game brought to you by Morgan Community, check that, by Cargill Meat Solutions. Morgan Community College, our post-game show sponsor. Cargill works with the community to make sure there are jobs for the members of the communities they're in. Cargill Meat Solutions. And that 10-6 breaking ball's in there for a strike. At 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Alex Ortega hitting from the right side. Laying down the sign is Mendoza. Wind and pitch. Breaking ball's in the dirt. And the count levels at 2-2. And the pitch. Fastball away. Three and two to Alex Ortega. Again, laying down the sign is Mendoza. And the offering. Swung on and fouled back. Nice big swing taken there. But a short swing by Alex Ortega. Staying alive in the count. We'll see another 3-2. Swing and a miss. And Ortega strikes out on a fastball. But they get a one-out triple from Jacob Ortega, and he's driven home on a ground ball by Isaac Linker as we head to the bottom of the first. Fort Morgan 1. Erie is coming to bat on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead by a score of 1-0 and a ground out by Isaac Linker, scoring Jacob Ortega, who tripled. Now let's get to the starting lineup for the hometown Erie Tigers. Batting first for Erie will be the center fielder Isaac Kana. Nash Phillips, the second baseman at second. Gavin Mendoza is the catcher batting third. Batting fourth is Grayson Schenbeck. John Thorne, the first baseman at fifth. Nolan Marthaler, the DH at sixth. Trevor Ball hits seventh. Caleb Fierman eighth. Brandon Huell bats ninth. And Ortega delivers the pitch, and the fastball's up and in. Nick Norris at first. Nick Beltran at second. The third baseman, Austin Apple. Isaac Linker's at short. Javi Becerra in left. J.P. Hamer in center. Alex Ortega in right. And the breaking ball's down and away at 2-0. Here to Isaac Kana with an open stance and the pitch. That's a fastball for a strike at the knees on the outer half. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gorgeous day. Temperature in the 70s here in Erie. And the offering way outside. 3-1. Jacob got the victory in his last outing against Frederick. Mustangs haven't played in a while because of weather. 3-1 pitch, and he bounced that one in there. Totally off balance was Ortega. And he walks the opening hitter here at the bottom of the first inning. And here is Nash Phillips, another right-handed hitter. Mustangs will play 3 days in a row. Tomorrow at home against Roosevelt, and then Wednesday on the road against Holy Family. We'll have both games tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and then Wednesday at 3 in Broomfield. 2-step lead at first, and the pitch. And that's a fastball down the middle for a strike just above the knees. And it's 0-1. 1-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the first inning at gorgeous field in Erie. We haven't been here in a while. Open stance, throw back to first, and back and diving in there is Kana. And then Fort Morgan plays once again against Skyview Saturday morning non-conference game in Thornton. At the belt and the pitch. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Fajardo. Nice work there by the senior.
Coach, how are you? Good, how are you? See you.
Count levels at 1-1. Mustangs get a one-out triple from Jacob Ortega. And then throw back to first, a snap throw. Back and diving there is Kana. Nice move by Ortega. The stretch, boy, opening up that stance even more. Phillips the pitch. Swing and a miss. Runner going to second. The throw to the second baseman. Beltran the tag. And out! Over there is Isaac Kana. That'll be 2-4 caught stealing. And there is one down. A bullet delivered by Fajardo. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Phillips. Laying down the sign is Connor. And the pitch in the dirt with a breaking ball. And the count levels at 2-2. Game number 12 for Erie. Game number 11 for Fort Morgan. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is driven into left field for a base hit. That ball was up in the zone. And Phillips spanked it into left. And now both teams have a hit. Here's Gavin Mendoza, left-handed hitting catcher. He was the quarterback as well of the football team, so he's a talented athlete for the Erie Tigers. Well, interesting to see here. Phillips is going to be taking off for his 2-step lead after Rierick was eliminated on the caught stealing. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half. Thigh high, it's 0-1. Mustangs at double play depth, leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Two-step advantage, Ortega. Long pause, the pitch, and the changeup is in the dirt, blocked there by Fajardo. We're going to say that a lot. Connor's pretty much a backstop by himself. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. A 1-0 lead for Fort Morgan in the first. Ortega delivers. Swung on, grounded right side. Second baseman Beltran to second for 1. Linker to first, and that is going to be a double play. 4-6-3. Beltran to Linker to Norris, and that does it here in the bottom of the first inning for Erie. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the second in Erie. Fort Morgan 1, Erie 0 on B106 and B106.com. We move to the second inning. The Mustangs lead the Erie Tigers 1-0. Austin Apple, Nick Norris, and Javi Baqueta. Against the right-hander, Trey Rierick. The wind and the pitch. Swung on, that ball is lifted towards the pitcher's mound. Now on the left side of the infield, a third baseman makes the catch. That ball was caught by Brandon Huell, 1 down. So Huell puts it away on the first pitch of the second. Here's Nick Norris. Norris hitting from the right side. All right-handed hitting lineup with the exception of Nick Beltran. The pitch. That's a strike on the outer half with a fastball from Rierick. No balls and 1 strike. Quickly, Rierick delivers. Swinging a foul to the screen. It is 0-2. The Mustangs got a 1-out triple in the first inning from Jacob Ortega. Brought him around. On the grounder hit to second by Isaac Linker. And the 0-2. And the Benders upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here to Nick Norris. 1-0 Fort Morgan in the second. Wine in the offering. Curveball is right there for a strike down the middle. Norris knew it. And there's 2 down. 2 down for Javi Baqueta. Hitting out of the 7-hole. I appreciate you being with us here in Erie. With Fort Morgan grabbing the early lead. 2 down and the bases empty, and the pitch. Fastball goes to the screen. On deck, it's Fajardo as we hit the bottom of the lineup here in Erie. Yeah, one of the most famous games played here was, at least 10 years ago, and David Garcia for Fort Morgan won 1-0. Swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. It's 1-1. That was a very short game in terms of time. Took about an hour and 20 some odd minutes. 1 ball and 1 strike to Baqueta. Mendoza lays down the sign in the pitch, and he bounces that one in. Ball 2, strike 1. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. Buildings by Design. 2-1. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half at the knees, and the count levels at 2-2. Neither pitcher had a 1-2-3 inning in the first, but Rierick going for that here in the second. And the offering swung on, lined, and is caught by the second baseman, Phillips. Took a little bit of a leap, not too big of one, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the second inning. Let's go to the bottom of the second. Fort Morgan 1, Erie 0 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Erie High School, 1-0 Fort Morgan as we move to the bottom of the second inning. 4, 5, and 6 for Erie as Jacob Ortega faced the minimum in the first inning. He walked the first hitter. There was a caught stealing, a base hit then by the second hitter, and there was a 4-6-3 double play hit by Mendoza to end the frame. Grayson Schenbeck from the right side, followed by John Thorne and Nolan Marthaler. Swung on and popped up into shallow center field. J.P. Hamer coming on and makes the two-handed catch for the out. And there's one down in the second, so both teams begin the second with first pitch outs. Apple for Fort Morgan and Schenbeck for Erie. Here's the left-handed hitting John Thorne. Tall left-handed hitter. 1 run on 1 hit for Fort Morgan, no runs, 1 hit for Erie. The pitch. Changeup is away. 1 ball and no strikes. B&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you. B&B Appliance, Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. Changeup, a strike at the knees. On the outer half, it's 1-1. Boy, you master that pitch. It's going to be tough to hit. At least square it up. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Same location. In fact, it was diving in the zone, almost like a sinker. Ball 1, strike 2. Ortega looks in. And the pitch. And the bender hit him. Oh, boy. You got to start that breaking ball away. Instead, he started at middle of the plate. And it got Thorne right around the right leg. So we've had a free pass and a base on ball in the first inning. And then the hit by pitch with a 1-2 count. Here's Nolan Marthaler, the DH. Double play depth against short lead. Swung on line to left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 2 hops to Javi Baqueta as he gets the ball back in on a pitch that hung out in the zone. Second hit for Erie. They're threatening down by 1. Here's Trevor Ball. 7th hitter in the lineup. Yeah, sometimes those hit by pitches carry over to the next batter. Unfortunately, that's what happened there. To Jacob. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is just outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the Mustangs got to get a lot of production for their starting pitching here, considering that they are going back to back to back. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the offering. In the dirt with a changeup. Maybe that was a breaking ball. Tough to tell. To that little 3/4 angle. 2-0. First and second with 1 out. 1-0 Fort Morgan, bottom 2. Jacob Ortega is the lone hit for the Mustangs. A triple. He scored on Isaac Linker's ground out. 2-0 pitch. Nearly hit him. Back ball off the plate. 3-0. With Caleb Furman, the 8th place hitter, on deck. And Jacob has thrown 12 balls and only 10 strikes to this point. 3-0 pitch. That's right there for a strike near the outside corner, thigh high. Ball 3, strike 1. To right-handed hitting Trevor Ball. Off of second is Thorne. Marthaler at first. Looking back is Jacob. And the pitch. Swung on, and that is driven on the left side. A dive by Linker. It's off his glove. It's a base hit into left field. Thorne is going to round third. The throw's going to be up the third base side, and now the runners advance. It's an RBI single by Trevor Ball. The game is tied at 1 with 2 runners in scoring position. Not sure there was really a play at the plate. The ball was not hit hard, but in the perfect spot. And here's Caleb Furman. Again, this all started with a hit batsman on a 1-2 pitch and a base is empty. And Erie, just like that, has 3 hits in a game. Mustangs are playing back in the infield. Wind and pitch. Fastball is very high. In fact, Fajardo had to catch that standing. 1 ball and no strikes. They'll give up a run for an out. And the offering. Down and away. Barely missed. It's 2-0. Yep. Very consistent so far. That was off the plate. 2-0 here to the Erie hitter. Swing and a miss. Took something off it. And Furman swung over the top of it. He's the number 8 hitter in the lineup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Money pitch here for Ortega. Swing and a miss up in the zone. And it's 2-2. Fired a fastball right by him. Can he do it once more and create a 2-out, 2-on situation with Brandon Huell on deck? Ortega kicks and fires. Down and away. 3-2, and the pitch count is already building up to 29. And a very economical first inning for Jacob. But not here in the second. And swing and a miss, and he blows it by Furman, and there's 2 down. Big strikeout picked up by Ortega. Just went pure gas. Here's Huell. Now Ortega could get out of this with just 1 run allowed. And the pitch. That's right there for a strike on a changeup on the outside corner at the knees. It's 0-1. Runners take their leads out of the windup. Down and away with a fastball, and the count levels at 1-1. Yeah, let's see. I was just checking how many pitches Jacob threw in that first inning. Only 13. And that's upstairs, but that was his 20th pitch of this inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. Connor Fajardo is going to lay down the sign. Mart Haler at third, ball at second. Swung on, grounded left side. The third baseman, Apple, has got it. Long throw to first is high offline, but the tag is applied by Norris. It was a hard tag, and yeah, he did tag him. The runner, the base runner, went down in Huell, but he should be out. Yeah, he just tagged him going by. He was definitely out. I don't know what they're calling here. He applied the tag easily before he got on the bag. Oh, that's an awful call if they're calling him safe. He applied the tag. He kind of applied it a little bit too forcefully as the hitter went down, but that should be out. They're going to check with a home plate umpire. It was clear that the hitter, Huell, was not at first base when the tag was applied with the throw up the first base side. Josh Langford is incensed. And if that call holds up, it's going to be an error on Apple. Yeah, I don't blame Josh. That is an awful call. I mean, he was definitely out. The tag applied before Huell stepped on the bag. And I can't believe that's holding up. I cannot believe that's holding up. That's just an awful call. So it's an error on Apple, no RBI, and Erie has grabbed a 2-1 lead. Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible call. That'll set up Isaac Kana, who walked in the first and was caught stealing. I mean, in fact, it wasn't even that close. It was not that close. Norris caught it, applied the tag. The hitter went down to the ground because he wanted to make sure that the tag was applied. It's going to be an unearned run. But again, if Apple makes that throw accurately, then there's not a debate. But there really shouldn't have been a debate to begin with. We've seen that play many times. The first baseman tags the runner going by. So here we go. The inning continues for Erie. Stretching a pitch, and a changeup is low. 1 ball and no strikes. So a critical error committed by the Mustangs there. And again, that can happen when you leave it up to a field umpire. You make that throw accurately, and the inning is over. But it didn't happen. Throw back to first, back in diving is Huell. So the Tigers have their first lead of the game. With first and third now, it remains at 2 down. Fajardo lays down the sign, and the pitch. Swung on, grounded to third. Apple's got it to a knee, now throws to first. That one is a little bit offline, and falling on the bag there is Norris. And that ends the inning. Some adventures at third base for the senior Apple. But Erie has reclaimed or taken the lead for the first time in the game. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. Let's head to the third inning. The score, Erie 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. It'll be Fajardo, Beltran, and J.P. Hamer here in the top of the third. The Mustangs trail the Erie Tigers 2-1. An unearned run was preceded by an earned run. Fajardo steps in against the right-hander Trey Rarick. Line in the pitch, and that's a fastball for a strike. Right there, just above the knees, it's 0-1. 2 runs on 3 hits for Erie. 1 run, 1 hit for Fort Morgan. The Mustangs have committed the game's only error. Erie has left 2 men on, Fort Morgan none. And that's a strike at the knees with a fastball in the outer half. It's 0-2. And Rierick is coming right after the Fort Morgan senior catcher, Connor Fajardo. Hitting with a slightly open stance. Mendoza lays down the fingers the pitch. Up and away. Normally one fastball, maybe two something else. I should call it laying down the digit. I think that would be more politically correct. Or digits. 1-2. Fajardo awaits the pitch, and he takes it off the glove of the catcher, Mendoza. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the top of the third inning in Erie on a gorgeous Monday. Wine and offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball tailing away. And Connor had no shot there. There's one down. And here's Beltran, who has not been to the plate in a while, had a wrist injury. And we'll see how healthy that wrist is right now for Rierick. That's his 4th strikeout already. He owned the Mustangs for the most part. First time around. The pitch, squaring to bunt, lays it up the third base side. Excellent bunt, barehanded. The throw to first is not going to be made. It's a base hit for Nick Beltran on the bunt up the third baseline. And for the Mustangs, that's their 2nd hit. That'll send up J.P. Hamer, struck out on 3 pitches in the top of the first inning. Second hit for Fort Morgan once again. Mendoza awaiting the pitch here, laying down the sign. Hamer's inside the batter's box. Here it is. And that one hit Hamer. Got him right around the, I don't know if that couldn't have been the left elbow. He'd be hurting a lot more than that, but it got him somewhere on that left side, being a right-handed hitter now, first and second. So both pitchers have hit a batter. Hamer's amongst the league leaders and the leaders in the state in terms of being hit by a pitch. That's got to be 4 or 5 this year. Here's Ortega. He tripled and scored in the first. And the Mustangs have something cooking here in the third, trailing 2-1. The stretch by Rierick. Ortega awaits the pitch. And the breaking ball's a beauty. Right down the middle, belt high, it's 0-1. A masterful pitch there thrown by the right-hander for Erie, Trey Rierick. Erie at double play depth. Open stance for Ortega from the right side. And the offering. And the breaking ball bounces in, but blocked nicely by Mendoza. No advance. Count evens at 1-1 to Ortega. Now, Rierick struck out 4 of the first 8 Mustang hitters, but now a bunt single by Beltran. He's got a big lead. Got to watch out over there at second base, and now stepping out is Ortega. Probably was the right thing to do because Beltran was way off that bag, and the second baseman Phillips cheating towards the bag. Got to watch out with a shortstop there behind him as well, and Trevor Ball. The stretch and the pitch, and that one bounces away and all the way to the screen. The runners will advance on the wild pitch by Rierick, and the Mustangs have the tying run at third. Ortega does the same thing again. The Mustangs have the lead after he tripled in the first. Now, we knew this would be a good ball game. Even though Erie's 4-7, I mean, they played some tough competition. They were swept by Roosevelt. One of those games, though, was 5-4. And the offering, up and away with a fastball. It's 3-1. And Linker, who's got massive power, waits to hit next. Yep, Erie today, home to Roosevelt tomorrow at Holy Family on Wednesday. Boy, if you love baseball, we got it right here on B106 and B106.com the next 3 days. 3-1, and the offering. Swing, and the miss got overpowered by a fastball over the heart of the plate. Ball 3, strike 2 to Jacob Ortega. Got to shorten the swing up and make some contact. Beltran at third, Hamer at second, with 1 out in the third. The stretch by Rierick. And the offering, swung on and fouled straight back. Went right down the middle of the plate with a fastball, and Ortega got a piece of it. Yeah, Erie's done a better job so far than Fort Morgan of putting the ball in play. Ortega has just 1 strikeout. 4 for Rearick. And the offering. Swing and a miss. That fastball was at neck level. That would have been a walk, and instead there's 2 down. And that was an awful pitch to swing at, but strikeout number 5 for Rearick. And here's Linker, who grounded a second, driving in Ortega. Yeah, that pitch up near the eyes, it could be awfully tempting. And Jacob went for it. Now they need a 2-out hit from the senior shortstop, Isaac Linker. Looking back is Rearick. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Took a huge swing, and he didn't get any of it. No balls and 1 strike. To number 8 on the football field, number 8 on the baseball diamond. Runners take their leads, and the offering. Swing and a miss, same pitch, same result. 0-2 to Linker. Linker digging a little bit closer to the plate, also bending his knees a little bit more, trying to get as eye level as possible with that baseball to make the 2-strike adjustment. Mendoza sets up on the outside corner. And the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball is fouled up the third base side. Linker kept the hands back long enough in order to foul it off. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink, any time of year. AC Ice. Pick it up at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. That's AC Ice. Beltran at third, Hamer at second, time is called. Again, Linker's in an 0-2 hole. Mustangs had second and third with 1 out, but Jacob Ortega struck out. It's a nice hole in left center if he can pull it. It's it into left center. There could be at least 2 bases, if not 3. Linker awaits the pitch, and here it is. And the breaking ball in the dirt. He takes it. 1-2. To Isaac Linker. Well, Erie took the lead on a 2-out error by Fort Morgan. Put it in play and see what happens. It's to Isaac. Way outside. Nice backhanded stab there by Mendoza. Count levels at 2-2. Some good baseball in this Tri-Valley League. Yeah, no, I've got 2-2. Yep. 2 balls. I think Coach Langford thought it was full count, but it is 2-2. Again, Rearick from the stretch. Pitch to Linker. Fastball very high. Well, if anything, the pitch count is going up, as it did for Ortega in the third. 44 pitches already for Trey Rearick. Alex Ortega's 1 pitch away from stepping inside the batter's box. Excellent plate appearance here by Linker. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a foul straight back. Jammed him with a fastball. But Isaac strong enough to get a piece of it. This will be pitch number 8 of this plate appearance. It was 0-2. Now it's 3-2. Again, the runners well off the bases. Rearick looks in. Payoff pitch. That is low. Wow. A throw back to second, and Hamer's going to be safe. Boy, he took too big of a lead, and that was close over at second. And that was a very close pitch. It must have been just below the knees because Linker could have been rung up. But he walks. That was very close. The Erie fans certainly thought it was strike 3, and if he would have been rung up, it would have been, I could have seen it justified because that was on the edge right there, edge of the strike zone. Alex Ortega struck out swinging. His first time up. The stretch. And the pitch. Fastball is high. Just do not swing at those pitches above the letters. And that's exactly what Rearick wants you to do. 1-0. Beltran at third, Hamer at second, Linker at first. Long pause and the offering. And that's a fastball for a strike down the middle. Took something off it. Count levels at 1-1. Here to Alex Ortega, 2-1. Erie in the top of the third inning. Mustangs at a 1-0 lead after half a frame. And the pitch. Swung on and belted down the left field line. That's trouble. That's going to score 1. It might score 3. Hamer's around third. He will score. Linker's going to be sent to home plate. Linker rounds third, and the throw will not be made. It's a bases-clearing double for Alex Ortega. And the Mustangs lead in Erie 4-2 in the third. Right over the middle of the plate, and Ortega smoked it. And here's Austin Apple, who popped to third his first time up. That was a pitch that he pulled beautifully down the left field side. Here comes number 50 in terms of pitches for Erie. Apple swung at the first pitch last time. Let's see if he's just as aggressive or maybe takes a pitch. And the offering. And he takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Certainly a pitcher's pitch. It's 0-1. Really, the key pitch was that 3-2 to Linker. I mean, that was right either at the bottom of the zone or barely missed, and it was called a ball. Alex Ortega capitalized. The offering. Breaking balls in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Mendoza. The Mustangs have 2 extra base hits in the game. One ball and 1 strike. With 2 down, a 2-run lead for Fort Morgan in the third. And the pitch to Apple. And he takes a fastball upstairs. Ball 2, strike 1. Well, Erie had a 2-out run. Fort Morgan's come up with 3 2-out runs. Jacob Ortega should give Alex a big pat on the back. He bailed him out from that strikeout. And the pitch. That is just outside. 3-1 with the first baseman Nick Norris on deck. 3 balls, 1 strike. Off of second is Ortega. And just a step but no throw, a spin but no throw by the pitcher Rierick. Yeah, he economized those pitches over the first 2 innings, throwing a lot here in the third. Apple awaits the 3-1, and Apple wanted to call time, and now he does. It's granted. So remains at 3-1, and Apple actually did call time before the pitch was delivered, but it was a delayed granting of the time, and so now he's back in the box. 3 balls and 1 strike. Apple awaits, and the pitch. That's right there with a fastball at the knees. It's 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. 3 across for Fort Morgan in the third. An extended pitch count here for Rierick. He's going to be halfway to 110 with this pitch. And here it is. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Down in the zone. Strikeout number 6 for Rierick. 2 in the inning. However, the Mustangs have reclaimed the lead. 3 runs on 2 hits, including a bases-clearing double from Alex Ortega. No errors and a man left. 2.5 complete. The score, Fort Morgan 4, Erie 2. This is Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. We move to the bottom of the third. I'm John Beltran. Our sound engineer and producer today is Eric Curtis. And that pitch is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Nash Phillips, who singled his first time up. Swung on. That ball is lifted deep into left field. Javi Becerra is way back, and that ball is off the bottom of the fence. Phillips around first. He's into second. He's headed for third, and the throw is going to be made. It's going to be late. And it's a leadoff triple for Nash Phillips here in the bottom of the third inning off Jacob Ortega. Here's Gavin Mendoza, who hit into a 4-6-3 double play. First time up. Well, this could be a shootout. A term used in football, but right now it could apply to baseball. Like a good neighbor, State Farm agent Greg Mullen and his team are there to make the insurance world easy. 842-4555, popped into center. Hamer to his left, going back towards the track. And he reaches out, and the ball is off his glove. Now Mendoza's headed for second. He's going to head for third, and the throw is going to be made, and that's going to be late. That's going to be an error on Hamer. Thought he was under it, reached out, and it went off his glove. That'll be an error on the center fielder for Fort Morgan. That'll be scored a sac fly with an error because Would have been an easy RBI there. And now it's 4-3. But give Mendoza the RBI. Boy, and rarely do you see Hamer misplay a ball that badly. He went to his left and ranged back. He reached out, and it deflected off his glove. At least that's what I saw from here. Here's the wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is bounced foul up the third base side. And so Jacob has given up 2 hard hits, but one of them should have been caught. And Fort Morgan is playing some sloppy baseball here with 2 errors, and there could have been another earlier in this game. Here's the wind and offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch, down and away, well located, but that's a ball. 1-2 to Schenbeck. He's 0 for 1. He popped to center his first time up. Mustangs will give up a run for an out, and the offering swung on and lifted towards center field. Hamer looks like he has a beat on this one. Going back, reaches out, makes the catch, tagging up as Mendoza. He scores on the sac fly by Schenbeck, and the game is tied at 4. Ortega has some work to do, though, with John Thorne. He hit John Thorne, and that was a key hit batsman because that started the rally 1 inning ago with 1 out and the bases empty. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball. It's 0-1. The Mustangs with a run in the first, 3 in the third, and that's off the plate on the changeup. 2 runs in the second, 2 so far here in the third for Erie, looking to reclaim the advantage. And the pitch swung on, grounded foul towards the Mustang and into the Mustang dugout on the first base side. Jacob still struggling with that strike-to-ball ratio. 25 strikes, only 21 balls. Or up to 21 balls. The pitch in the dirt. Again, took something off at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now we've seen multiple extra base hits in this game. The Mustangs have 2 big ones. And the pitch swung on. That ball is lifted foul and out of play down the first base side. Nick Norris gives chase. It remains at 2-2 to Thorne. Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team trained in the latest surgical procedures. Colorado Plains Medical Center. And the pitch way outside. 3-2 to Thorne. Pitch number 50 coming up for Jacob. And the offering swung on and fouled up the first base side on the slow breaking ball. Yeah, it would be, unless these pitchers really pick it up, it would be a surprise if any one of them got to the 7th. Rarick is well over 50. Ortega's now going to be at 51 with 1 out. And the pitch, swing and a miss on a pitch up and away. Ortega records a strikeout. I think he took something off that pitch, and there's 2 down. Yeah, Thorne tried to pull that ball, and that pitch was on the outside corner. For Jacob, that's his 2nd strikeout against 1 walk and 1 hit batsman. Here's Nolan Marthaler. He singled. The pitch, that is low, just below the knees. 1 ball and no strikes. If the Mustangs get out of this one at a 4-4 game, it's reduced to a 4-inning game. And the offering swung on. That's laced foul down the left side. Nolan got a lot of that one, but Marthaler did pull that baseball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, 3 games in 3 days, all league games. This is not like other leagues or other classifications where you play a team twice and one of them's a league game, the other one's not. Here, everything's a league game. 16 league games for Fort Morgan. The pitch, the bender bounces in. 2-1 to Nolan Marthaler. Hitting from the right side. Pichardo lays down the sign. Ortega, well, time is called. He took too much time, which is a rarity as well for Jacob. He likes to get rid of that baseball. So here we go. Jacob digs in. Wind and pitch. Curveball's a beauty. Down the middle, knee level. It's 2-2. One pitch, and you're done with his third inning. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Threw it right by Marthaler. And Ortega strikes out the last two Erie Tigers. However, they scored 2 runs. And as we run through the line score here, Erie scores the 2 runs, and they do it on 1 hit of Mustang Air, and the bases were left empty. 3 complete. It's Fort Morgan 4, Erie 4 on B106 and B106.com. Nick Norris leads off the 4th and takes a breaking ball in the dirt against right-hander Trey Rearick. One ball and no strikes. Norris struck out looking his first time up, and the pitch. Fastball in the outside corner for a strike. Thigh high, it's 1-1. Erie has come back, and so has Morgan from deficits. The offering, and that's right there. Fastball down the middle at the knees. 1-2. 4 runs on 4 hits for Erie, 4 runs on 3 hits for the Mustangs, but they've committed the game's only 2 errors. Wind and pitch. Curveball is just a little bit low. That's a good take there by Norris. That had tons of hook on it, but it was below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Norris, Baqueta, Fajardo in the 4th. Hopefully more. The pitch. Swung on. That ball's grounded up the middle for a base hit into center field. And the Mustangs have picked up their 4th hit of the game. And that one's courtesy of Nick Norris. They've got 2 singles. A double by Alex Ortega, driving in 3, and a triple by Jacob Ortega in the 1st. Here's Javi Becerra. Hit a soft liner to the second baseman, Phillips. His first time up. Both teams are trying to knock off and knock out the starting pitchers. That was pitch number 60 for Rearick. Here's the stretch. Javi awaits the pitch. Here it comes, squaring to bunt, and it bounces in, blocked by Mendoza. 1 ball and no strikes. They got 2 strong defensive catchers, Mendoza for Erie, Fajardo for Fort Morgan. A 1-2-3 inning has been rare in this game. Becerra waits, and the 1-0 squaring to bunt, and he lays it down right in front of the plate. Fielded by the third baseman. Throw to first is low, but in time. That sacrifice will go 5-3 as the play was made by Brandon Huell. There's 1 down. Norris to second. Small ball is what Josh Langford also preaches. So Fajardo and Beltran will both have a chance to drive in Norris. Again, they've gone back and forth in this game. 1-0 Fort Morgan, 2-1 Erie, 4-2 Morgan, 4-4 right now. Fajardo awaits the pitch, and here it is. Fastball is a strike. Belt high in the outside corner. And it's 0-1. Fajardo struck out swinging his first time up on a pitch away. Norris with about a 4-step lead at second. Second baseman Phillips cheating a little bit towards the bag, and the pitch. And that is a strike, a delayed call, but on the inside corner. Yeah, that looked like a piece of the baseball got the strike zone, but Fajardo shaking his head no. Yeah, and rarely do you see that delayed of a call. So the umpire had to think about it. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Ooh, up and in. Yeah, there's certain pitches you say, man, maybe you should let that hit you. But no, not if he wanted a broken jaw. That thing was way too close to the melon. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tied at 4 in the 4th inning in Erie. And Mendoza calls time. He needs to have a conversation with his pitcher, Rearick, apparently just trying to square up the signs. And Randy Getman, the first base coach for the Mustangs, conversing now with Connor Fajardo. Nick Norris single to begin the inning, a sag bunt by Baqueta. And Fort Morgan looking to score for the 3rd time in 4 innings. The only scoreless frames were Erie in the bottom of the 1st and Fort Morgan in the top of the 2nd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. Conversations have ended. Back and ready for some more baseball. Rarick looks back at second, 4-step lead. And the offering swung on line. Fair down the left field line beyond the diving Huell. Rounding third is Norris. He's going to score. Fajardo races towards second. He's got an RBI double, the third extra base hit for the Mustangs. And they have taken a 5-4 lead in the fourth inning. Nice job by Connor Fajardo, who just pulled that inside pitch. And he was down in the count the entire way. Boy, his teammates really cheered him on. You can hear that from the dugout. We'll have a courtesy runner. Well, I'm guessing that's Dylan Woods. That's what I'm guessing out there. We'll put Woods out there just based on, I can't see his number from here. Nick Beltran at the plate, had a bunt single and scored in the third inning. And the pitch, and the breaking ball bounces in, blocked by Mendoza. 1 ball and no strikes. Beltran hitting over 500. Now we'll have another conversation. He must have, that must have been something that Mendoza was not expecting. I think he was ready to field like a fastball or something different, because that's not what he got there. He got a breaking ball. So 1 ball and no strikes. The Mustangs have taken the lead for the third time in the game. And now they're gathering part of the infield as well. Well, maybe. It might be an injury to Mendoza. I wonder if he's okay. He might have taken it in an area. Yeah, Gavin might be hurt out there. I think he needed the time to gather himself. So I don't think this is an issue of signs. Yeah, Mendoza's going to call for some water, even though the catcher's on the pitcher's mound. Obviously not feeling his best right now. So the situation is as follows. Fort Morgan with a 5-4 lead in the fourth inning. With a runner at second, Connor Fajardo just drove in Nick Norris, who singled to lead off the inning on a double down the left field line. But it's clear that the catcher, Mendoza, had a little bit of an issue. And he appears to be okay now. I mean, he has blocked a lot of baseballs here. There's no question about it. So Mendoza's okay. And again, he's a quarterback on the football team, so he knows what it is to be tough. 1 ball and no strikes to Beltran. Still only 1 out here in the fourth inning, and the Mustangs with a 5-4 lead. This is the only left-handed hitter in the Fort Morgan lineup. Here's the stretch by Rarick. Looking back, and the pitch. And that is a fastball inside. 2-0. Mustangs have a runner at second. Yeah, I believe that's Woods, but again, tough to tell. Couldn't see the number. And the 2-0 offering, and that's down and in. Nearly got away. Beltran way ahead in the count at 3 balls and no strikes. And it's back to the top of the order after this. And J.P. Hamer, Beltran will be taking 1, you would think, here at 3-0. And here it is. And that runs inside. It's a 4-pitch walk to the Mustang second baseman. So the sophomore's on base for the second time in the game. And let's see if this is Hammer and Hamer here, who's got 4 home runs on the season. JP stepping in with 2 on now and 1 out. Rarick, the right-hander, looks back at the pitch. Fastball very high. 1 ball and no strikes, and we're going to have a visit to the hill. Well, let's see what happens here. The other one, I guess, didn't count as a visit because of the Mendoza injury. So this would, this would be the first official visit. 1 ball and no strikes now for Rarick. Unofficially, he has thrown 71 pitches. You're only allowed at 110 as long as you've had 3 days rest. And I'm sure he has. I mean, there wasn't much baseball played recently. All right. Hamer has struck out and been hit by a pitch, and he scored a run. Back in the box. 1 ball and no strikes with 2 runners on for Fort Morgan. J.P. Hamer with a slightly open stance. The stretch by Rierick. Looking back, and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is driven in the air into deep left center field. That one is way back towards the track, and that one is off the bottom of the fence. 1 run will score. Beltran is around third. Beltran is headed for the plate. He will score. Hamer to third. It's a 2-run triple. And the Mustangs now lead 7-4 in the 4th inning. Yeah, JP slapped that baby. He got around on that one. 3 runs across for the Mustangs on a ball that was torched. That's the second triple of the game for Fort Morgan. Jacob Ortega had the first one. He's at the dish, and he takes a fastball for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Jacob Ortega. The infield is playing back all the way through from first to third. Ortega also struck out. The offering in the dirt, blocked by Mendoza. I'm telling you, I mean, this guy's been tough back there. Only one, I believe, just 1 wild pitch delivered by Rierick. Mendoza's blocked everything else. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 down, 3 across for the Mustangs in the visiting half of the 4th inning. And the pitch swung on. That ball is laced deep down the left field line. Is it going to stay fair? It is, nope, foul. Yep, just pulled it a little bit too much as Furman was giving chase. Ball 1, strike 2. So Fort Morgan has their second straight 3-run inning. All right, Ortega digging back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The stretch. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is taken outside. It was just off the plate. Just off the plate. Count moves to 2-2. Took a check swing but didn't go all the way through. Linker will hit next. Very well located pitch there by Rierick. Ortega looking to put the ball in play. 2-2 pitch. Curveball is just outside. Barely missed again. Boy, those are, if they're missing, they're barely missing. 3-2. And the offering. That missed by a mile, way outside, high and away. And it's a walk to Ortega. And here is Isaac Linker, who was grounded out and walked. That was pitch number 78, straight up at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock here in Northeast in Colorado. Listening in Northeast Colorado, this is Morgan County's B106, KPRB. Brush, Fort Morgan. Linker grounded out, driving in a run. And again, he walked, so he's 0 for 1 with a run driven in. Runners at the corners. And a pitch to Isaac. And he swings and misses at a fastball above the letters. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. On deck, it's Alex Ortega. Had a big 3-run double 1 inning ago. Let's see if Jacob takes off from first, but a short lead over there. The pitch. Boy, well, I don't know what he's swinging at. That pitch was higher than the first. Yeah, Linker points to himself for the second straight at bat. He's down 0-2. But he was much more disciplined in his previous plate appearance. That thing was at least eye level. No balls and 2 strikes. The Mustang shortstop has to make the adjustment. And the offering. And the curveball's right there for a strike. And Linker strikes out on 3 pitches. And for Rierick, that's strikeout number 7. And 2 down in the 4th inning. Let's see if Alex can duplicate what he did his previous plate appearance when he smoked it down the left field line, clearing the bases. At third is Hamer. He had a 2-run double. A 2-run triple, I should say. And the pitch. That's a fastball for a strike. Runner going to second. Throw back to third, and Hamer dives back in. So now 2 in scoring position. And no balls and 1 strike to Ortega. Rarick operates out of the stretch. Looking in. And the pitch. That's right there for a strike. Well located on the outer half at the knees. It's 0-2. Off of third is Hamer. Ortega at second. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3 across in the fourth for Fort Morgan. And the pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. Ortega, like Linker, strikes out on 3 pitches. However, the Mustangs have taken the lead. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 2 men left. Fort Morgan is in the lead for the 3rd time in this game. We have played 3.5. It's the Mustangs 7, the Erie Tigers 4 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. We're back in Erie as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan 7, Erie 4. Jacob Ortega has labored through these innings. It'll be 7, 8, and 9. Trevor Ball, Caleb Fuhrman, and Brandon Huell. Looking at the line from Ortega so far over the 3 innings. 56 pitches, 31 strikes, 25 balls, 4 runs, 2 earned, though. 3 strikeouts, a walk, and a hit batsman. He's given up 4 total hits. And the pitch swung on and laced down the left field line. That's trouble if it's fair. It is fair. And that's going to be the 2nd hit of the game for Ball. And that is hit number 5 for Erie. It's a leadoff single in the bottom of the 4th inning. That'll bring up Caleb Fuhrman, who struck out swinging his first time up. Well, again, you look for the inning where the Mustangs can hold down Erie and then look to extend the lead. Short lead at first. And the pitch swung on and grounded left side. Apple backs up, throws to second. That is 1. No throw to first. That's an excellent play by Apple. That ball was in the hole. Took a tricky hop. That's an all-star play by the third baseman. That was anything but easy. In fact, if he doesn't make that play, I think I would have scored that a base hit. That was a really tough chance. And there's 1 down. Again, you need some help from your defense, and Jacob has not gotten a lot of help in this game, but he did right there. Did get a 4-6-3 double play in the first inning. Brandon Huell did reach in an error. Swung on, line towards the shortstop. Linker to second. That is right there. Tried to go to first was Beltran. They got the force. I don't know why Nick threw all the way through. It was not hit very hard. It was hit off the end of the bat on the line on 2 hops. But the fielder's choice 6-4, barely getting the base runner sliding into second. Fuhrman, there's 2 down. They've swung it all 3 pitches thrown. Mustangs will take that. So will Jacob Ortega. So 2 down. And here's Isaac Kana, 0 for 1. Walked and grounded out the offering. And he takes it for a strike with a sidearm fastball belt high. It's 0-1. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ortega looking to make it a quick inning. He just threw his 60th pitch. The offering. That is on the outside corner for a strike. 0-2, thigh high, 3/4 delivery. No balls and 2 strikes to Isaac Kana, the leadoff hitter in this lineup. Runner off of first. And the pitch up, and the runner's going to go to second. Ortega did not pause. It's a balk. So now, Huell's in scoring position. Well, it really doesn't matter with a base runner out there when you got 2 down. If you get the hitter, I mean, the balk will not hurt you. But if Kana delivers, then that's a different story. No balls and 2 strikes. And now Josh Langford wants a little clarification, apparently, unless he's going to talk to his pitcher. Fort Morgan has scored 3 runs in each of the previous 2 innings, including the top of this 4th and the top of the 3rd. The big hits, a 3-run double by Alex Ortega, 2-run triple by J.P. Hamer. Yeah, he won't speak to the umpire, just checking in with Ortega. And again, that base runner is insignificant if you retire the hitter. If not, then he becomes that much more important. As the Mustangs lead by 3. 1-0 Fort Morgan after half an inning, 2-1 Erie, 4-2 Mustangs, 4-4 Erie when they tallied 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. The first 3 pitches were swung at in this inning. And you essentially had a base hit down the left field line, a grounder to third, and a grounder to short. And those last 2 resulted in fielder's choices. And Ortega's ahead in the count here at 0-2. Laying down the sign is Fajardo. The stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball down and away. 1-2. Certainly a waste pitch. Jacob might climb the ladder here. Let's see what he does with Kana. And the offering. Curveball is lined up the middle for a base hit. Hamer's going to come on, runner around third, and the throw is going to be made towards the plate, and it's going to go all the way through, and scoring will be Brandon Huell. It's an RBI single for Kana. It's 7-5 Fort Morgan, so that balk did matter. Yeah, it looked like he hung a changeup on a 1-2 pitch. And Nash Phillips has been a lot of trouble for the Mustangs. He singled and tripled. He has 2 of the 6 hits for Erie. And the offering. And the bender's down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Let's see. Get him out one of the next 2 or 3 pitches. Swung on line down the left field line. That is trouble. Javi's going to chase it down, but that's going to turn into at least a double. Headed for third is Kana. Are they going to send him home? They will send him home. He's going to score without a throw. It's an RBI double for Phillips. He's now 3 for 3, and Erie is drawn to within 1. It's 7-6 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And all this happened with 2 out and a man at first. And Gavin Mendoza can tie the game for Erie with a base hit. He's grounded out and delivered a sac fly that was dropped by Hamer. So it was a sac fly with an error. But again, Jacobs just hanging too many pitches here. And the pitch swung on and chopped over the mound. It's going to be a tough play. Second baseman Beltran throws off his back foot to first, and in time. Oh, it looked like Mendoza beat it, but Beltran with a great play to his right. And off his foot in midair, throws out Mendoza on a phenomenal defensive play to his right. And that ends the frame for Erie. However, the Tigers inch closer. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and a man left. 4 complete. Fort Morgan 7, Erie 6 on B106. And B106.com. We're down to a 3-inning game. The Mustangs lead in the 5th inning in Erie, 7-6. Austin Apple is 0 for 2. He's popped up and struck out. And still on the hill is Trey Rarick, but he's running out of pitches. He's thrown 84 so far. So here is Apple for Fort Morgan. Again, Erie came back. Lots of 2-out runs in this game, and that is a critical component for both teams today. The pitch, down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Bank of Colorado is the only bank dedicated to help you make the most of living here, not just a bank in Colorado. Bank of Colorado, proud supporter of local sports and academics. Squaring to bunt, and it's in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes to Austin Apple. Again, Fort Morgan has had base runners on in every inning but 1, and multiple base runners at that. And the 2-0. That is right there for a strike with a fastball on the outer half, thigh high. It's ball 2, strike 1. To the senior third baseman for Fort Morgan. The right-hander, Rarick, delivers. That's up and away. Oh, a strike. Wow. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, they call that a strike on the pitch. That looked like it was way up and away. And the 2-2 pitch. That's definitely a ball. 3-2 to Austin Apple to lead off the 5th inning. Yeah, even Josh Langford thought, was that on a check swing? 3-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3. Fastball on the inner half, and Apple strikes out again. 1 down. And even though Rarick has battled, he's been able to rack up some strikeouts today for Erie. In fact, that is strikeout number 9. Nick Norris struck out and singled, and that's in the dirt. He also scored. 1 ball and no strikes to the number 6 hitter in this lineup. Fort Morgan leads 7-6 over Erie in the top of the 5th inning on a gorgeous Monday in Erie. And the offering swung on and fisted in the air into shallow left center field. A long run. That ball's going to be caught in center. Caught by Isaac Kana, who closed in on that gap beautifully. There's 2 down. 2 down for Javi. Lined out. Then had a sac bunt. Officially 0 for 1. Yeah, this is dangerous when the game is this close and you can't extend the lead, and now you're giving Erie 9 outs to play with. You've only got 7 to play with. You have to have a sense of urgency to extend the advantage. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes, which, Fort Morgan does, but first 2 hitters are out here in the 5th inning. And the right-hander fires up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. To Javi Baqueta, the junior left fielder, starting today for Fort Morgan. Here's the wind and pitch. That's up and away. 3-0. When it comes to your future, Northeastern is miles ahead, and a college that's close to home, Northeastern. 3 balls, no strikes. The offering. That's upstairs. It's a walk. So Javi walks, and that'll bring up Connor Fajardo. He had a huge RBI double ahead of J.P. Hamer's 2-run triple, and I wonder if this is going to be it. That was pitch number 96 for the right-hander. That appears to be his last pitch. I don't think he's going to throw another one here as the infield and the catcher Mendoza will converge. There are 2 down, though. Is he going to give him a shot to record 1 final out? Nope, that's going to be it. We'll have a new pitcher for Erie. Baqueta is still his responsibility. And it looks like Rarick will be in the outfield. Let's see who we have for Erie. But anyway, let's take a 1-minute break. Back in 1 minute. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Pitching change for the Tigers. Fort Morgan 7. Erie 6 on B106 and B106.com. All right, the new pitcher is Trevor Ball. So Rarick is now in the outfield. Looks like he's in right field there for Erie. Grayson Schenbeck is the second baseman. And let's see. Nash Phillips is over at short now. Here's Fajardo. And that's a strike from the right-hander, Trevor Ball. No balls and 1 strike. With 2 down, a man on in the top of the 5th. Fort Morgan leads Erie 7-6. Throw back to first, up the first base side. Javi back in diving. And a good ball game so far. Get a delicious treat, breakfast, or lunch option at Willow Coffee and Bake Shop. Makes the day better. 9:21 Edison and Brush. And that is low. Runner going to second to throw the slide. And he's safe. It's a stolen base for Javi as Phillips applied the tag, but late. Javi using that speed, and the count is now leveled at 1-1. Strong throw there by Mendoza. But Javi got a nice jump. 1 ball, 1 strike to Fajardo. With a man in scoring position, the Mustangs lead by a run. And the offering swung on. That is popped up along the right side, along the first baseline. It's caught halfway between the catcher and first baseman by the pitcher Ball. And the Mustangs are retired in the top of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man left at second. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Fort Morgan is clinging to a 7-6 lead in Erie over the Tigers on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the fifth inning where the Mustangs lead the Erie Tigers 7-6. Mateo Salcido's been Fort Morgan's most consistent pitcher. He's on the mound. Isaac Linker moves to second. Jacob Ortega to short. Nick Norris. Check that Nick Beltran is out of the game. But certainly had a very productive game. On base twice. Scored twice. Made a fabulous defensive play to end the fourth inning. Here's Grayson Schenbeck, who's popped out and delivered a sac fly. He is 0 for 1. 4, 5, and 6 for Erie in the bottom of the fifth inning. The pitch upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Grayson Schenbeck. Fajardo lays down the sign of the pitch. That's in the dirt. Looked like he took something off it. It's 2-0. Jacob really battled today. Now one of his better outings. 2-0 pitch. Nearly hit him with a fastball. Ortega goes 4 innings, 66 pitches, 6 runs, 4 earned. 3 strikeouts. Allowed 7 hits, 1 walk, and a hit batsman. Also balked. That was ahead of a base hit that drove in a run. 3-0. Boy, not even close. Very high, and Mateo didn't look balanced at all in any of the last 2 pitches. Schenbeck walks. Here's John Thorne, hit by a pitch and struck out. He is 0 for 1. And again, Fort Morgan has not retired Erie in order in this game. Even in the first inning, when Ortega faced the minimum, there was a caught stealing and a 4-6-3 double play. And the pitch. That's right there for a strike on the outside corner, thigh high, and it's 0-1. Well located there by Mateo. Thorne officially 0 for 1, but he's got a big hole in the right side. He's going to try to pull that ball and advance Schenbeck to third. The offering way outside took something off of that one. It's 1-1. Mustangs in their camo uniforms and the orange jerseys and the white pants for the hometown Tigers. And the pitch upstairs. 2-1. 7 runs on 6 hits for Fort Morgan, 6 runs on 7 hits for Erie. The Mustangs have committed 2 errors, none for Erie. Fort Morgan has left 4 on base, 3 for Erie. Throw back to first. Schenbeck is back in diving. You can either follow us on Twitter at B106 or download the iScore Central app. It's all free. iScore Central, and look for today's game. The pitch up and away. He doesn't look like he's comfortable on the mound. Lots of arm and not a lot of body on these pitches. 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike with Mart Haler on deck and the offering. And that is a strike on the inner half. It's 3-2. Nice pitch there by Mateo. He's got to repeat that. Has not thrown 2 consecutive strikes here during the sequence, any sequence, to these first 2 hitters. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch, short lead at first. Runner goes, swung on in line, and that's going to be a base hit into right center field. Perfect hit and run. Headed to third is Schenbeck. A throw's going to be made. I don't know why. Boy, that's an awful throw by Ortega. It skips by Apple, and scoring's going to be Schenbeck. That's a terrible play out there. It'll be scored a single and an error on Ortega. That's a hit and run. You're not going to throw him out from there. It's tied at 7. Yeah, you got to know. You got to eat that baseball or just get it back in. Mustangs have now committed 3 errors in the game. No RBI because the runner scored on the throw that skipped by Apple. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Alec got a great arm, but come on. It's a huge jump there by, and then the pitch went behind the hitter, Mart Haler, all the way to the screen. The wild pitch and Thorne to third. Yeah, Mateo does not, he almost looks like he's in pain. He's thrown 11 pitches, only 3 strikes. And that one sailed several inches behind the right-handed hitter. 1 ball and no strikes, and Erie is looking to reclaim the lead, and the infield is playing in. Laying down the sign is Fajardo. And the pitch way outside. 2 balls and no strikes. No activity for the Mustangs in a bullpen. But Coach Langford might have to go there unless Mateo can pick it up here. Down and away. He's thrown very, very well this season, but doesn't look himself right now. 3-0 to Mart Haler, singled and struck out. This is the number 6 hitter in the lineup. And the offering. That's inside. Walked him on 4 pitches. And that'll send up Trevor Ball, who's singled twice, so he's a lot of trouble here for the Mustangs. First of 2 meetings between the teams this season. And it looks like, well, I see Sam Christensen going over there. I wonder if he's the one that's going to be throwing. I didn't see the other Mustang, but I think Christensen might be getting the warm-ups there for Fort Morgan. We've had a single sandwiched in between 2 walks, and we also had a Mustang error. First and third, nobody out, bottom 5 tied at 7. And the pitch. Swung on, grounded left side. Apple dives, he stabs it, looks to third, throws to first for the out. Outstanding defensive play by Austin Apple. The trail runner advances to second, 1 down. Nobody scores on that play. He just robbed the Erie defender, or the Erie hitter, I should say, of a base hit. Excellent play. Here is Furman. Struck out, hit into a fielder's choice. Nope. Somebody else is warming up in that bullpen. For Fort Morgan. Oh, it's Nick Beltran warming up. He's allowed re-entry. Squaring to bunt, and then it's a suicide squeeze, and it's not made, and now they're going to be in a rundown. Apple to the plate, and Salcido applies the tag. Trail runner to third. Couldn't lay down the bunt. The pitch was so high. And that will go 2 to 5 to 1. Are they looking for some interference? Josh Langford is coming out. Yep. 2 to 5 to 1. Runner goes to third. There's 2 down. Yeah. So here we go with Caleb Furman in there with a 1-0 count. I think Coach Langford thought there was some sort of elbow or something thrown. I didn't see anything from here, not from this angle. He had a different angle, obviously, for the first base side. But nonetheless, and now the umpires are conferring along the third baseline to see if the trail runner is going to be ruled out automatically. I don't think so. I think this is going to hold up. If I had to guess, it would hold up. But we'll see right now. Mart Haler standing at third. It's been a very weird inning so far. Very strange inning. The single, or check that, the walk, the single, the error on the single, the walk, and a great play by Apple. And then we had the rundown on a failed suicide squeeze. Coach Langford must have seen some I didn't see, obviously, but he's out there still conferring. Now we have a third Fort Morgan coach on the field. And, well, that's Mateo apparently. Oh, he took something to the nose. I guess he's bleeding. And that's maybe the reason for it. And Mateo's got a Kleenex to his nose. I don't know what happened there. But the conversation continues. Randy Getman is out there, but apparently, Mateo wiping down his nose. Yep, there's Nick Beltran might get ready to come into the game. Boy, what an odd set of circumstances right here. Now, he could have applied the tag, and maybe the glove, his own glove, made contact. That's not necessarily on the Erie base runner. I don't know. But obviously something happened with Mateo where he's got blood coming out of one of his nostrils, and he's got a handful of tissues there right in front of the mound. Erie does have a run across in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're tied at 7. Nick Beltran now coming out, but I don't know if he's necessarily going to be on the mound. Doesn't have glove in hand. Yeah, this is play-by-play I don't expect here. In a game that has gone back and forth. And, yeah, Coach Langford is wondering whether that was a result of an Erie player and an elbow thrown or a forearm. Again, I cannot say that I even saw that at all. So here we go. We do have, I don't know if one of the fans is aware that we have a nose issue out there. You know, it's not because they're discussing it. We have blood coming out of the pitcher's nose. So it's a matter of he's going to stay in the game at this point. I mean, Coach Langford is taking advantage of that time while Mateo tries to plug up the nose by having a conversation with a field umpire. And let's see if Mateo's going to stay in the game. Well, let's keep it right here for now. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins, offering you a variety of banking needs, including agriculture and personal loans. High Plains Bank in Wiggins. Yeah, Nick Beltran was warming up in the bullpen, then came out with Coach Campbell and a bevy of tissues, and now he's walking off with some used-up tissues. And Mateo is apparently staying in the game, but they've got to check for blood. They got to make sure he's got no blood on his jersey or anything attached to his body, but that's what happened there. So here we go. Marthaler will be in there. At third, Furman is the batter, 1 ball and no strikes. Tied at 7 in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 down. But again, Mateo trying to battle some control issues. Only 16 pitches have been thrown, only 4 have been in the zone. 12 balls and 4 strikes. And a base hit can give Erie the lead. The stretch. And the offering. Fastball is up and in. That's the hardest pitch he's thrown. Well, he really delivered there. Should be 2-0. Yeah. 2-0 should be the count. 2-0 is the count. There was no bunt attempt the first time. That's the right count. It is 2-0. No. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, Coach Langford. 2 balls and no strikes. This Coach Langford's going to have to get back, and they ruled it a ball. I think he thought that and he makes a good point here. It was ruled a ball, but it looked like Furman actually, he had the bat out there, but I had ball 1. That's what was ruled at the plate. That doesn't mean that he didn't make the attempt. But, yeah, it looks like it's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Again, it was a failed suicide squeeze, but I guess it was ruled that he did not motion towards the pitch. Well, let's play some baseball here. This has been quite the event. In the bottom of the 5th inning, the offering. Fastball is up and in. It's 3-0. Here to Furman, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, and Brandon Huell is on deck. 3 balls and no strikes. Wind and pitch. That is a strike with a fastball thigh high. It's 3-1. Erie has a run across here in a very interesting bottom of the 5th inning. To include a few stoppages. The pitch swung on, hit on the ground off the end of the bat, foul up the first base side of the breaking ball. It is 3-2. If Teo gets this man out, we're down to a 2-inning game. And this will be a 2-hour game easily by game's end. No lights here in Erie, but then again, it's not going to be dark for well over an hour and a half plus. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Out of the windup with a man at third. Caleb Furman is the hitter. Mateo Salcido the pitcher. Here it is. Swing, and it went foul right off the glove. I didn't hear anything off the bat, but he got a small piece of it. Deflected off the glove of Fajardo. It remains at 3-2. Went up in the zone there. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fajardo lays down the sign. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, and Furman strikes out a money pitch. They're thrown by Mateo Salcido, and the inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. A man left on base and a long stoppage. Let's head to the 6th inning. Fort Morgan 7, Erie 7 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back in Erie. We're tied at 7, headed to the 6th inning. A game that is now full of runs and emotion. as Mateo Salcido steps in. 9-1-2, J.P. Hamer and Jacob Ortega here against the right-hander Trevor Ball. The Mustangs had a 4-2 lead at one point. Erie had a brief lead of 2-1. And the pitch swung on. That ball is lifted into left center field. To his right is Isaac Kana, and to his left is the left fielder. Caleb Furman makes the catch, and there's one down. Salcido retired on one pitch. Hamer has struck out, been hit by a pitch, and smoked a two-run triple into the left center field gap. Officially at 1 for 2. Mendoza lays down the sign and the offering, and the curveball is a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. I don't think Coach Langford liked that one. That was a sweeping breaking ball, and that JP's not going to swing at that one. And the offering, and that's right there. Even a better location. On the outer half, it's 0-2 to Hamer. And again, he has struggled at times being down in the count at 0-2 as he did in his first plate appearance when he struck out on 3 pitches. Let's see if we can make the adjustment. The pitch swung on. That ball is grounded to third on 2 big hops. Setting, throwing to first, and safe! Beating it out was J.P. Hamer. Huell held on to the baseball a little bit too long, and it's an infield hit for Hamer. If he gets rid of that quickly, instead he kind of clutched, and Hamer beats it out. Fort Morgan now with 7 hits. Boy, that was hustled down the line for J.P. Hamer. And here's Jacob Ortega. Tripled, struck out, and walked. Been on base twice. Scored a couple of runs, and the pitch. Breaking ball fouled off the end of the bat on the first base side. No balls and 1 strike. And we're going to do it again tomorrow in Fort Morgan when the Mustangs entertain the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Ortega scored once, I should say. The pitch, runner going, swung on and fouled off to the right. That was a fastball in the outer half. Mustangs went for the hit and run there, although Hamer looks like it was a straight-up steal for him. 0-2, 7-7 in the 6th inning. Fort Morgan has hurt themselves defensively with 3 errors to none for Erie. Well, Hamer was down in the count 0-2. Ortega's down 0-2. The pitch swung on in line towards center field. Should be a play there, and it's caught by Isaac Kana on that little flare to center. Back to first is Hamer. There's 2 down. 2 down for Isaac Linker. He's grounded to second, walked, and struck out looking. Linker, the senior, is 0 for 2. And it's going to be the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 6th for Erie. So the Mustangs would like to get on the board here and reclaim the advantage. Runner goes, and the breaking ball in the dirt. Throw to second is up the second base side. And it's an easy steal for J.P. Hamer. Linker looking to deliver. 1 ball and no strikes to the senior second baseman. Started off at shortstop stop in this game. And the pitch, and he takes it in the dirt. On the breaking ball, it's 2-0. Two balls and no strikes to Linker. And the pitch swung on and popped up into foul territory and giving chase, and it's going to go over the screen. Over the screen. And those are the scariest ones. You don't see them right off the bat. They're so high. But running out of room there was Mendoza. It's 2-1. All right, so Trevor Ball still behind in the count here to Linker with 2 outs, and the game tied at 7 in the 6th inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. And a pitch, and that's in the dirt. 3-1. And Alex Ortega, who's got one of the big hits in this game, is on deck for Fort Morgan. 3-1 now to Linker. Most good hitters are even better when they're ahead in the count. Linker awaits, and he swings and pops it up down the left side, drifting into foul territory. Long run, and there's a dive out there, and there's a catch made. Boy, there's a collision out there. Boy, there's a nasty collision between the third baseman, Brandon Huell, and the left fielder, Caleb Furman, and one of them is down. I don't think the catch was made, but boy, that was hit right along the fence in foul territory. Yep, and getting up nicely there's Huell. Looks like Huell's getting up, and he's okay, if I've got the right player. Yep, so it's 3-2. Boy, that was some great hustle out there. Nearly an incredible over-the-shoulder catch by one player, nearly a diving catch by another, but it's going to be 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Isaac Linker. The shortstop, Nash Phillips, is also out there with his cap off. All right, we've had some we've seen a lot of different things in this game. Not the conventional baseball game. It's 3-2. And I guess that play is evidence, but at least all these players are okay. There was a collision, but nobody hurt. So now it'll be a 3-ball, 2-strike count to Isaac Linker, a man at second and 2 down. Well, let's see. What did we have? Are we going to have a change here? Yeah, let's see. Yep. In fact, yeah, it looks like Huell is going to be out of the game. We'll have a new third baseman. That's what we're looking at for Erie. Or is that might be it's a positional change. All right, so Huell is out of the game. Wow. So Salcido nearly left the game for Fort Morgan when he had some blood gushing on a play at the plate when the runner was caught between third and home, and now the injury there to the third baseman for Erie, and now you have another substitution. Odd. So hopefully he's okay. Trevor Ball is still waiting to throw the 3-2 pitch here to Linker. Up there with a man at second and 2 down. And just an odd number of things. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink, any time of year. AC Ice at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. And a proud supporter of all the area athletes, Mr. D's Ace Home Center, with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies with 3 locations, Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. Yeah, I don't know if that's a number 6. Now, anyway, there is a new third baseman in there for Erie. That we do know. The umpires noting the change of the plate. And Trevor Ball just with some tosses over there just to get him warmed up. All right, so let's see if we resume this game right now with the Mustangs. And Erie Tigers tied at 7. Well, Rarick comes out of the game. So we do have more than one defensive change. All right. We've got that change squared away. Well, apparently we thought we had the change squared away, but we don't yet. I mean, there are 9 players on the field. That's a good thing. So we can, at some point, just get back to this 3-2 count. 1-0 Fort Morgan after half an inning. 2-1 Erie after 2. 4-4 after 3. 7-6 Morgan after 4. Tied at 7 after 5. Still at 7 here. J.P. Hamer's the man at second with 2 down. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Isaac Linker, who's 0 for 2 in the game. The stretch by the right-hander, ball to pitch. Inside with a fastball. It's a walk. And that'll send up Alex Ortega, who struck out, doubled, and struck out. Well, he can follow that script. He can take it in the same area that he did earlier and give Fort Morgan the lead. Ortega digging in, the stretch from Ball. And the pitch. Breaking ball swung over and missed way out in front of that pitch. No balls and 1 strike. Hamer reached an infield single. That's how he's on base. Also stole second. Ball. Delivers. Runner goes. Runners take off. No throw on a breaking ball in the dirt. It's a double steal there, so a base hit can score 2 easily. 1 ball, 1 strike. But there are 2 down in the 6th inning. Hamer and Linker at 3rd and 2nd respectively. Mendoza lays down to sign the offering. Swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball. And Alex is trying to pull that pitch. No way you can do that. You got to go to right field on that one. But I think he was waiting for a fastball. He hasn't got it yet. He's had 3 curveballs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trevor Ball kicks and fires. Swung on and popped foul and out of play. Got the fastball there, but could not connect the way he wanted to. Remains at 1-2. Fort Morgan is looking to take the lead for the 4th time in the game. Is Ortega going to get the hook? 1-2 pitch. There it is, swung on and fouled at the plate. He hung tough and got a piece of that baseball. Remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alex Ortega. Out of the windup, Trevor Ball. Ready, now time is called. Ortega's hanging tough right now. He knows he's got to be ready for anything. 2 in scoring position. And the pitch. That is right there. Wow, that barely missed, I guess. Ball thought he had strike 3. Fastball below the knees. 2-2 again. Very close. A dangerous take. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. That was a fastball delivered by Ball. The pitch. Down and away. 3-2 with a breaking ball. Austin Apple is 1 pitch away from hitting. Here comes a big pitch in this game from Trevor Ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the offering. Fastball is upstairs. It's a walk. It is a walk. And the bases are loaded. What a plate appearance by Ortega. Austin Apple is 0 for 3. So he's due. He's popped out and he struck out twice. So 2 walks preceded by an infield single. But again, can you deliver here with 2 outs? Apple with his 4th plate appearance. One of the biggest at-bats for him this season. And ball comes home. Oh, and it hit him! Got him on the upper left arm, maybe the shoulder. And the Mustangs take the lead on a hit batsman as Hamer scores. It's 8-7. Try to back him off the plate with a fastball. Wow. All right, here's Nick Norris, who's struck out, singled, and popped out. And now the wind is taking effect. I'm not sure which way it's blowing, but we can find out if Norris hits it in the air. Here's the wind and offering. And the curveball is down the middle for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Linker at 3rd. Alex Ortega at 2nd. Austin Apple at 1st. And the pitch. Swung on and tapped slowly down the 3rd base side. And it is foul, just foul. The throw went all the way through, and it was up the 1st base side, but it is foul. No balls and 2 strikes to Nick Norris. Yeah, that's one of those you almost wanted it to stay fair. That was a very difficult play along the line. So here we go, 0-2 to Norris. And the Mustangs have claimed the lead for the 4th time in the game, but they've got to be able to extend it and hold it as well. Norris digs in. And Trevor Ball fires. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and in. Nick Norris strikes out, and the Mustangs are retired here in the top half of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan scores a run on 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left loaded. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Fort Morgan 8, Erie 7 on B106 and B106.com. All right, Mateo Salcido here to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Second inning of work. Sam Stem steps in. Easy to say. And the pitch for the left side. It's up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. 9-1-2. First plate appearance for this Erie Tiger. Again, batting for the left side. Mateo came into the game with a 1-run lead, and he's got it again. Ooh, not even close. That would have been behind a right-handed hitter. He wants a new baseball. It's 2-0. And somehow he escaped the 5th inning, allowing just 1 run on an outstanding defensive play by Apple and then a failed suicide squeeze. Swing and a miss and a pitch away. It's 2-1, but he's thrown just 9 strikes and 16 balls. But Mateo's battling right now. 2 balls and 1 strike. The sophomore right-hander kicks and fires, and that's over but low. 3-1. A couple of walks were issued in the previous inning. 3-1 pitch, up and away. Mateo's walked his 3rd hitter. The starter, Ortega, only had 1 second consecutive inning. He's walked the leadoff hitter. Isaac Kana's walk, grounded out and singled. He's 1 for 2. Mustangs are going to need something defensively. They've had a couple of decent plays defensively, but, I mean, if you grade them out defensively today, they're at best a C- at best. The stretch. And the pitch squaring to bunt, and it's down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Kana just trying to advance the runner to second. And Nash Phillips is on deck, and he has destroyed the baseball today for the Tigers. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and popped up in the infield. The second baseman going out. Here comes Ortega, the right fielder. And is it going to drop in or is it caught? Caught by Linker. Throw back to first. And it bounces off of Norris. Boy, he nearly made an incredible double play. I don't know how he caught that ball. That ball between Linker and Ortega. Linker went to the ground and made an incredible catch. Then off his backside, threw it off balance and nearly doubled up the runner. Had Norris been able to handle that when it was a tricky hop there, it would have been a double play, but there's 1 down. Well, I just upgraded that C- grade I gave there because that was incredible. But can you get out Nash Phillips? If he homers, he hits for the cycle, single, triple, and a double. And the curveball's in there for a strike. On the inner half thigh high, it's 0-1. We have reached the 2-hour mark in this game. Short lead at first. And the pitch in the dirt, blocked by Fajardo. Gets away, runner takes off for second. The throw, the tag, safe. It's a wild pitch. And the tying run is at second, which basically accomplishes what they wanted to, even without the bunt from the previous hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Fort Morgan with a 1-run lead, 8-7, bottom of the 6th inning. And the pitch. That's upstairs with a fastball. Two balls and 1 strike here to Phillips. Let's see what Teo can throw here. That's a beautiful curveball. 2-2. That pitch hasn't thrown a ton of them, but it's been on here. 2-2 to Nash Phillips. Stretched by Salcido. And the pitch swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. I think he went with a changeup. Phillips thought that was a fastball. Mateo pulled the string well out in front. It remains at 2-2. Runner at second here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sam Stem walked to begin the inning. Mustangs trying to leave him there. Pitch to Phillips. Fastball is just outside. 3-2. Very close, but it was off the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and popped up into foul territory. The third baseman, Apple's got room. He makes the catch, and there's 2 down. He went with a breaking ball, and Phillips is retired for the first time in the game. That'll send up Gavin Mendoza. He's 0 for 2. Did have a sac fly, grounded out twice on the right side. So Linker certainly has to be ready there. And there is activity in the bullpen for Fort Morgan. And I think they're going to send Mendoza to first. Are they going to send him to first? That's what, let's see if Coach Langford is motioning for that. So it'll be an intentional walk here to Mendoza. So Mendoza's on. And now it'll be left up to Grayson Schenbeck, who's 0 for 1. He popped out a sac fly and a walk. Straight up at 6 o'clock. This is Morgan County's B106 KPRB, Brush Fort Morgan. I'm John Beltran. We'll have a courtesy runner as well for Mendoza. And Mason Vive will be running at first base. All right, so let's see if the Mustangs can come through here and retire a hitter with 2 down. There's quite a few 2-out runs scored in this game. 8-7 Fort Morgan, bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch and the breaking ball's in the dirt, blocked there by Fajardo. 1 ball and no strikes. Games like this are ones that determine the difference between playoffs, no playoffs, seeding. Certainly if you do make the playoffs, the pitch. Curveball is low. 2-0, and watch out because you got Thorne, the lefty, on deck. He's not an easy customer to deal with. 2 balls and no strikes. And the offering. Oh, that's very high. 3-0. To this hitter. Mateo looks in, the pitch. That's right down the middle for a strike. Three balls and 1 strike. Can Salcido come back? Up and in. He walked him, not even close, and Schenbeck walked. Exactly what the Mustangs didn't want here, but, well, you still have the lead. And with the lead, you got to figure it out right now. What can Fort Morgan pull out at this point? The hitter will be John Thorne. Hit by a pitch, struck out and singled. He's 1 for 2. Oh, this is it for Mateo here. He's already thrown 41 pitches in an inning and 2/3. Bases loaded out of the windup with an 8-7 lead. The pitch swung on and lifted into right center field. Jacob Ortega to his right, going back, and that ball's going to find a hole. It's going to drop in. 2 runs are going to score. Here comes a runner around third. That's going to be a bases-clearing double on a long fly ball from John Thorne, and Erie leads 10-8. The ball just kept flying out there. And I don't know if Ortega lost his footing. He might have lost his footing in right field. And now the Mustangs are down by 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, Teo threw the pitch he wanted to. And it was just, it looked like a fly ball that was going to be caught out there, but it kept sailing. I think Ortega lost his footing. Here's Nolan Marthaler. 1 for 2. And the pitch. And the curveball's in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2, no balls and 1 strike, excuse me. Again, 2-out runs have been huge in this game, and Erie has just come through. Off of second, Thorne and the offering. Up and in. Now Salcido's the pitcher of record on the other side. And we're going to have a courtesy runner here for Erie. 1 ball, 1 strike. They just cleared the bases with a double by John Thorne. And again, Fort Morgan's defense has really not been their strength today. They played good defense throughout the course of the year. Will Kana is now the base runner at second. But now the Mustangs are going to need runs in the 7th. They have led 4 times in this game, but now are down by 2 for the first time in the game. They were down 2-1. And that was it. This is the second time they've had a deficit. And it comes at the worst time here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the pitch. And that's down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kana at second. Well, Fort Morgan trying to get out of this inning, and that's a strike with a breaking ball. It's 2-2. Yeah, the ball does fly out here in Erie. There's no question about it. But you have 2 tremendous athletes out there in Hamer and Ortega, and it was hit a lot closer to Ortega. But again, from this vantage point, couldn't make the play. Down and away with a breaking ball. It's 3-2. And a long inning on the field for Fort Morgan now. Don't want to fall behind by more than 2. Fajardo lays down the sign. And the pitch. Swung on. That is popped up into shallow center field. That might be a tough play. Hamer comes on. He makes the running catch as the ball hung up there long enough. But Erie has claimed the lead again. 3 runs on 1 hit. It was a bases clearing double by Thorne. No errors and a man left. Let's head to the 7th. The Mustangs are down to their final 3 outs, trailing Erie 10-8 on B106 and B106.com. Last chance for the Mustangs, trailing the Erie Tigers 10-8. And Josh Thorne, who just delivered John Thorne the bases clearing double, is now going to try to close it for Erie. The left-hander will be facing Javi Baquera, Connor Fajardo, and Mateo Salcido. 7, 8, and 9. Got to get it to Hamer to have a shot here. Got to get it to J.P. Hamer at the very least. Get a power hitter up there. Baquera has lined out, delivered a sac bunt and walked. Grayson Schenbeck is now the first baseman. Let's see, it looks like Nash Phillips back at second. Trying to assemble who's in this infield. Let's see, over at short. I see Trevor Ball's back at short. All right. So here we go. Baqueta in the box. And the pitch. And a fastball's a strike by the hard-throwing left-hander at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Have an abbreviated post-game show. Hopefully not for a while if Fort Morgan rallies. Pitches up and away. Count levels at 1-1. Here to Javi Baqueta. Laying down the sign is Mendoza, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Blew a fastball right by him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Javi's got to be a lot earlier with that swing. Mustangs have struck out quite a bit in this game. And the offering. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Headed for center field. That's a base hit on a 1-2 pitch. Javi Baqueta picks up his first hit of the game. And the Mustangs will send the tying run to the plate in Connor Fajardo for Fort Morgan. That is their 8th hit of the game. And Fajardo does have an RBI double. Struck out and popped out as well. Yeah, and with a lefty, Coach Langford wants Baqueta barely off that base. There's no reason to have a big lead with a left-hander. No reason. He doesn't mean anything right now, down by 2. And the pitch. And that is low with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Erie 10, Fort Morgan 8. We're in the top of the 7th inning. In Erie. And the offering. That one is low. 2-0. All right, let's see if Fajardo automatically takes here. 2 balls, no strikes. The left-hander looks in, looks at first. He might throw over to first. That's a fastball down the middle for a strike at the knees. Ball 2, strike 1 to the senior catcher, Connor Fajardo. Again at the belt. John Thorne. Long pause. Throws to first, but again, Javi's right there. He's not taking off. Oh, it's a balk. All right, he's to second. The balk was called. Well, that helps Fort Morgan's cause there with a base runner, but again, even if Javi scores, they're down by a run. A big pitch coming up in this game. 2 balls and 1 strike to Fajardo. Erie leads by 2 in the 7th. And a pitch. Swung on and fouled to the screen on a fastball. Challenged him with that pitch on the outer half. Ball 2, strike 2. Connor about to dig back into the box. The stretch by Thorne, looking back at second. Still looking. 2-2 offering. Swung on and lifted foul and out of play off to the right. Boy, he really shortened up that swing. You got to do it against this guy. He's bringing some heat. Shorten up the swing. That's what he's doing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Javi led off the inning with a base hit to center on a 1-2 pitch. Fajardo trying to keep it with a no-out situation. And the pitch swung on. That is popped up into shallow right center field. Should be a play. And the catch is made over there. Back to second is Baqueta. Kana puts it away. 1 down. And here is Mateo Salcido. Mateo popped to left. His first time up. But unless there's a double play here, J.P. Hamer will get a chance to hit. And Mateo facing a lefty. The pitch. Fastball away. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Hamer does lead the team with 4 home runs. And the offering. That's upstairs. Oh, a strike. Wow. Boy, Josh Langford can't believe that. That is not a good call. That is not a good call. That pitch was above the letters. That's a gift strike given to Thorne there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, you cannot call that a strike in this situation. The stretch. And a pitch. That is low. 2-1. Now that changes the whole at bat. Yeah. That's a blown call here in the 7th, but Teo's still ahead in the count at 2-1. Looking back, and the offering. That's a strike with a fastball on the outer half thigh high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hamer could either be the tying run or the go-ahead run, depending upon what Mateo does. 2-2. Thorne, the left-hander, comes home. Swung on and lifted deep to left field, going way back towards the track, and that ball is going to be, is that gone? Nope, it did not leave the yard, but it's going to be a double. It almost left the yard. It's a double scoring Baqueta, and the Mustangs have drawn to within 1. It's 10-9, and a ball launched by the sophomore Salcido deep into left. And now we will have a courtesy runner. Mateo got a hold of that one. It almost left the yard. What a game we've got here. And there will be a courtesy runner. It'll be Sam Shaver. And J.P. Hamer has struck out, hit by a pitch, tripled and singled. A base hit can tie the game. You got speed at second. 10-9, Erie in the 7th with 1 out. And Thorne delivers. And the breaking ball is launched into deep left center field. That one's got some carry to it. That one is way back. And that ball is off the glove of the center fielder. And that's going to score a run. Here is Shaver. To third is Hamer. He's in there with an RBI triple. And the game is tied at 10. J.P. Hamer has done it again. Wow. Nearly a play out there. But another long one hit by Hamer. Kana nearly got to that baseball. And here's Jacob Ortega. So back-to-back extra base hits. And we do know we're going to play a bottom of the 7th inning, but can Fort Morgan take the lead here. The infield is playing back. And the pitch. And that's low with a fastball. Ortega has tripled, struck out, walked, and lined out. Jacob is 1 for 3. The Mustang dugout is getting it going right now. And the offering swung on and fouled off to the right. A vicious foul ball hit off that bat. Count is level at 1-1. Javi Baqueta got it started with a base hit. The double by Salcedo, the triple by Hamer. The stretch and the pitch. And a fastball's a strike. Oh, Jacob couldn't believe it. Yeah, must have caught the corner, but Langford not happy with that one either, and I don't blame Jacob. That's questionable strike zone, 1-2. And the offering. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball in the dirt. They're going to have to throw him out. Mendoza throws to first and right into the back of Jacob Ortega. And he was in that baseline. He was on the baseline. They better not call him out. If not, there's something crazy is going to happen here if they call him out. They're going to call Ortega out of the baseline. Uh-oh. This is going to get crazy. They're going to call Ortega, I believe, out of the baseline. It was thrown into the back of the runner. And now the umpires will confer. That means the run would not score from third. Ortega would be out. There'd be 2 down. Again, this has been an incredibly crazy game. I mean, you could see that coming when the ball was thrown into the back of the runner. And they're going to, let's see. Nope, they're going to say Ortega's in there. Yep, he was on the baseline. It's now 11-10 as the run scores. Wow. Wow. So it's now 11-10, and now we have the Erie coach coming out. Oh, my gosh. So it's recorded a strikeout. A visit to the hill. Yeah, that's one of those plays that, I mean, we don't have the great angle from here, but looked like he was going straight towards the bag. But again, there's obviously a difference of opinion on a play that close. So Ortega reaches and scoring his Hamer from third. It's 11-10. He swung at a pitch on a breaking ball in the dirt. But the Mendoza throw to get Ortega out went into the back of the runner. And I was watching him the whole way because you want to make sure that he's on that baseline, that he's on the running track. And it looked like to me that he was on the running track. Erie fans don't agree, but there's no argument from the Erie side at all. So here is Linker. And again, in this wild affair, the Mustangs lead 11-10 and still not done with 1 out in the 7th. The stretch and the pitch. The runner goes. It's a strike. The throw to second, and Ortega's out by a mile. That must have been a hit and run. He's out by a mile. He couldn't even slide. He was tagged out. And that's not good there, especially since it's very difficult to hold these teams down. So Fort Morgan has countered Erie's 3-run bottom of the 6th with 3 in the 7th. Pitch to Linker. Fastball is up and away, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wow. I mean, how much more drama can you have? Swing and a miss. One with a straight fastball there. And the 1-2 up and away. Two balls and 2 strikes. The pitch, swing and a miss and a fastball up and in. And Isaac Linker strikes out. However, the Fort Morgan Mustangs have reclaimed the lead for a 5th time in the game. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors and nobody left to the bottom of the 7th. Can the Mustangs hang on? They're hanging right on for dear life right now. Fort Morgan 11. Erie 10 after 6 1/2 innings on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Swung on and grounded sharply to the shortstop deep, and the whole long throw to first by Ortega's in time on the first pitch by Salcedo in the bottom of the 7th inning. Outstanding defensive play there as Trevor Ball was 2 for 3, but he's out number 1. And here's Caleb Furman, 7, 8, and 9, with the Mustangs leading Erie 11-10. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the pitch. And that's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. We'll have some video up later on our KSIR B106 channel. That's a strike with a breaking ball. Furman has struck out twice and hit into a fielder's choice. This will be a huge victory as Salcedo beginning his 3rd inning of work. Certainly labored for the Mustangs, but trying to nail it down. The pitch. Curveball fouled off the catcher, Fajardo. Off the end of the bat, it's 1-2. Might tough to tell who's going to be the player of this game if Fort Morgan win. Even if they lose, we have a player of the game. But you've had contributions from a lot of players. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Caleb Furman. 1 down and the bases empty in the 7th. Wine and pitch. Swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball, and there's 2 down. And Sam Stem will be the last chance here. He walked to begin the previous inning. The last opportunity here for Erie in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing by a run. And Salcedo delivers. Swing and a miss. On a pitch away, it's 0-1. Fort Morgan has led 5 times in the game. They blew the previous 4 leads, but they're holding on right now. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Same location. Took something off, and it's 0-2. Got more of the middle of the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Here to Stem. And the wind and pitch. Swing and a miss, and the Fort Morgan Mustangs rally with 3 in the 7th as Salcedo records a strikeout. And they defeat the Erie Tigers in Erie 11-10. What a game as Fort Morgan wins for the 6th time this season. Let's take a 2-minute break and wrap it up after this. Fort Morgan 11, Erie 10 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Just like they chalked it up, like they wrote it up, the Mustangs beat the Erie Tigers in Erie 11-10 with 3 in the 7th. Mustang postgame show brought to you by Morgan Community College. Morgan Community College, there to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. What a wild affair. Wow. Fort Morgan 11, Erie 10. 11 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors, 7 left on base for the Mustangs. 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors, 5 left on base for Erie. The winning pitcher in relief, Mateo Salcedo. And the loss went to John Thorne. Time of the game, 2 hours and 27 minutes. By the way, we've got lots of good video coming up. Just check it out on our KSIR B106 channel. I'll be posting that a little bit later on tonight. The final out, some big hits in this game. So check it out on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube. Try to go Facebook Live for a few hitters, but the signal is questionable here. We did get the broadcast on with no issues whatsoever. But anyway, check that out. All right, here is the way this incredibly wild game went here from Erie High School. The Mustangs grabbed a 1-0 lead as they scored that run when Jacob Ortega tripled and Isaac Linker drove him home with a ground out. But then Erie countered with 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And part of that came on a Mustang error. Trevor Ball did have an RBI single. Fort Morgan countered in the 3rd. A bases clearing double by Alex Ortega made it 4-2, but back came Erie. Gavin Mendoza with a sac fly. Grayson Schenbeck with a sac fly. Was tied at 4. And then Fort Morgan, true to form, would score in the 4th inning. Connor Fajardo with an RBI double made it 5-4. J.P. Hamer with a 2-run triple made it 7-4. But then a couple of 2-out runs for Erie. In the bottom of the 6th inning, they would not go away, making it 7-6. And then with Fort Morgan unable to score in the 6th inning, Erie came back. John Thorne with an RBI single made it 7-7, and it looked like they were going to take the lead. I mean, they've got a runner in scoring position. In fact, they had 2 in scoring position with nobody out. And then Austin Apple, actually 1st and 3rd. Let me correct that. Austin Apple made a great play throwing out the hitter while the runner had to hold. The first runner, the one on third, the trail runner went to second. Then a failed suicide squeeze resulted in an out. Salcedo got out of that jam. And then we went to the sixth inning, and Fort Morgan took an 8-7 lead. The damage done with 2 outs on a hit by pitch to Austin Apple with the bases loaded. So it was 8-7. But then with 2 outs in the bottom of the sixth inning, bases loaded, John Thorne hit a long fly ball to right field. And it appeared from this angle that Alex Ortega might have lost his footing. And it was a 3-run double. It was 10-8. But then Javi Baqueta against the third pitcher for Erie. John Thorne got a base hit to lead off the inning. And then with 1 out, I should say, Mateo Salcedo doubled, driving in Baqueta, making it 10-9. J.P. Hamer with an RBI triple tied the game at 10. And then a very odd way for Fort Morgan to take the lead. A man at third with 1 out. Jacob Ortega struck out on a 1-2 pitch in the dirt, took off for first. And he was definitely in the running lane from here. I don't think he was out of, even though Erie contested it. For the fans, at least, I mean, they certainly saw something from their angle because they have a better angle than I do. And I thought for a second that maybe they were going to call Ortega out, that he was out of the baseline, but that was not the ruling. Ortega was ruled to be in the baseline, not out of the baseline. And when the ball was thrown off his back, Hamer scored from third. And that gave Fort Morgan an 11-10 lead. And all Mateo Salcedo did in the bottom half of the seventh inning is what Fort Morgan had not done in the entire game, which is retire Erie in order. And that's what he did, striking out Sam Stem to end the game as the Fort Morgan Mustangs won in dramatic fashion in Erie by a score of 11-10. That means it's time for our Mustang Player of the Game, brought to you by Transwest. They believe that customers are number one. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today. There were many stars here, but J.P. Hamer, 3 hits. The only Mustang with 3 hits, had 3 RBIs. Came through in the clutch in the seventh inning. And Hamer is the Mustang Player of the Game. With a victory, the Mustangs are now 3-3 in the Tri-Valley after they lost their first 3 Tri-Valley games. And they are 6-5 overall. Erie at 1-5 in league play and 4-8 on the season. Mustangs are back at it tomorrow when they entertain the Roosevelt Rough Riders right here on B106 as well as B106.com. A long day and an early night here, but an outstanding job as always by our sound engineer and producer Herrick Curtis. I'm John Beltran. The final from Erie. Fort Morgan 11, Erie 10. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Baseball on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.